Welcome to Traffic Jam, a podcast series brought to you by the Traffic Club of Chicago. If you'd like to support the club, please come to one of our events. We have about 1 to 2 per month on average, and our next event will be on August 18th with the guest speaker, Bill Cassidy from the Journal of Commerce. I'm Mike Westergren, and on today's episode, our special guest is Drew Wilkerson. He's the president of North American Transportation at XPO Logistics and has held numerous leadership roles within XPO over the last 14 years. Recently, he's been tapped to become the CEO of their new planned spinoff called XPO Logistics. Welcome to the show, Drew. We're curious, how did you get your start in transportation logistics?
Well, Mike, thank you for having me. It's good to be with you here today. I started my career in brokerage over 15 years ago, and I started with C.H. Robinson and started on the desk level. I started off as a carrier rep. I was a customer rep. I did outside sales. And then a little bit more than a decade ago, I came to XPO. And at XPO, Brad did his very first brokerage acquisition, which was a company called Continental Freight that had a few offices in the Carolinas. So once he completed that acquisition, the next day I started and took over those few offices. And I also started the sales side of our flagship location in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is going to be our headquarters for RXO, and just continued to pick up responsibility within our brokerage team and eventually oversaw all of our brokerage operations. And for the last 2.5 years, I've been the leader of our North American Transportation Group, and that consists of our tech-enabled truck brokerage platform, managed transportation, last mile, global forwarding, and our expedite business.
Excellent. So you sound pretty well-rounded, kind of boxing yourself from the outside in, starting at desk level and working your way up. And it's kind of a success story that people like to hear. So you started in 2006 with C.H. Robinson, right? And then
That's right.
2012 with XPO? All right, excellent.
That's right.
So what keeps you excited about the work you do every day within the industry?
Well, the thing that keeps me the most excited is the people that I get to work with. I work with a great group of people. I work with some of the brightest minds in technology, not just in transportation, but in the world. I mean, we've got folks that have come from Amazon, Microsoft, Uber. They've got MIT degrees, which is a lot better than my University of South Carolina degree that I've got. I work with some of the best operators in the world. And then we've got great sales folks who go out there and tell the story. So that excites me the most, is just the team that I get to work with. The second thing that I would say is the innovation that we brought to the industry. 11 years ago, we invested in technology in the brokerage industry when not a lot of folks were doing that. And we built the technology for our customers, for our carriers, and for our employees. And that's created a competitive advantage with us in the platform that we built as XPO Connect, which soon we'll be calling RXO Connect.
What kind of technology do you give your customers?
Yeah, so like when you're a customer, we built our technology to help you have leading market indicators. So it actually operates as a tool that the customers are using. It tells them what day of the week they should ship something, what mode of transportation they should use. We've even used it to help customers decide where they should plant a warehouse that'll help them route their transportation in the most efficient manner. On the carrier side, we spend a lot of times with the carriers, and one thing that we want to do is we want it to just be easy to use. So they can pick up their cell phone, they can book a load, they can even negotiate, and they can do all that with no human interaction. And they've got access to our rewards program, things that give them discounts on like fuel, tires, something that allows them to really put money in their pocket on an everyday basis. And then for me, the most important part for me was the employees coming from the desk level, as we talked about, is, how do you create less clicks on your mouse? And by doing that, you're allowing the reps to be able to do more loads per day. And over the last 5 years, we've grown our volume at nearly 3 times the rate that we've grown our headcount. And that's because of the investments that we've made in technology.
You totally increased productivity. So the incentive for the customers is also interesting, making them come back, right? And becoming a recurring customer and using you more and more. What about the carriers? And do you guys have a load board, or do you use third-party load boards? Is your technology intertwined with any third-party load boards, or how does that work?
We built ours as a proprietary technology. So it's our own system. And the carriers, we have 88,000 carriers in our XPO Connect platform, and they can do two things. One, they can log on to XPO Connect, and they can actually see the available shipments, post their trucks, even find out what's their most likely backhaul, what shipments get them closest to home that allow them to reduce their empty miles. Or if you're an owner operator and you're out on the road, you can just pick up your cell phone with our Drive XPO app, and you can just literally push on there and see the available loads. You have the exact same visibility from the app. So, but it is all on our system.
So you make it easier for the carriers, the customers, and your employees. That's great.
Exactly.
So fast forward to the future. What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, the first thing I'm looking forward to the most is to actually complete the spin of RXO that we've got planned to complete in the fourth quarter. But I'm most excited about continuing to disrupt the brokerage industry. If you look over the last 8 years, the brokerage industry has had great growth. It's grown at a 9.6% CAGR, and we've grown at a 27% CAGR over the same time. So we've grown at nearly 3 times what the brokerage industry has done. That's because of our investments in technology. It's because we have great relationships with our customers to where they come back to us year after year. And it's because we've got a great group of operators who have worked together for a long time. So I'm excited about the next 8 years to continue to be able to go out there and take market share and outperform the industry, and do it by our use of technology.
It sounds like you can. I think that, how do you think the market's going to be in the coming years? Everyone keeps talking about this great decline that's going to occur later this year, maybe next year, maybe even 2024. What does your crystal ball say?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball that reads out a couple years from now. I wish I did, but I do not. What I can tell you today is right now, demand is still strong. When you look into the back half of the year, you still have a back to school season. It's going to be the first one that we've had in a few years. We have peak season. And we have the Port of Shanghai that's opened up, and you have those ships that are now going to be coming over to the U.S., which will bring in some demand. So we don't see the freight recession that everybody's talking about right now. For us, business is still strong and is headed in the right direction as we go into 23. But with that said, this is such a massive market that we're in the early days of our growth. The overall for-hire trucking market is over $400 billion. And of that, while brokers are taking share, brokers only have about $88 billion. So, at our $3 billion in our truck brokerage group, we've got just 4% share. So we've got a long runway for growth over the next few years.
That's amazing. So can you tell me a little bit more about the spinoff with RXO? And this is fun news, right? Because Bradley Jacobs is already spun off what? One company sold another, and now he's splitting this one. The man sounds like a genius. Because everything
genius is an understatement. He's definitely had a lot of highlights through his career. When you look at why we're spinning off, there's 2 reasons why we're spinning off. One, there was not a lot of operational synergies between our LTL business and our truck brokerage. We had already split off from how we were approaching the customers on the sales side, where there was an LTL contact, and what will be RXO had their own sales contact as well. Technology was separated as far as how we had that done. So when you look operational, there wasn't a ton of synergies. The second thing is shareholder value. And that's something Brad's done throughout his career, is create a ton of shareholder value. And you look at where XPO is trading right now compared to our competitors, and we're trading at a discount, even in some cases where we're outperforming. So by giving investors a story that they understand on 2 pure play powerhouses, we should get our correct evaluation going forward.
Excellent. And before we conclude, is there anything that you'd like to, any closing thoughts that you'd like to share, and maybe a way for our listeners to contact you or get in touch?
Mike, we are excited about RXO. The future is extremely bright. We have a lot of tailwinds as we head into the fourth quarter with this spin. Our investments in technology have already paid off. We've got a wide gap with our early being first mover advantage of investing in technology, and we'll continue to do that going forward. If you'd like to follow us, you can go to rxo.com and sign up to receive updates until we complete the spin. You can also follow us on LinkedIn at rxo.com, or you can look me up on LinkedIn as well.
Great. No, sounds good. We really appreciate you joining today. All the information you gave us is definitely interesting. We love hearing how to make things easier, especially when it comes to a customer's perspective, of course. And sharing a little bit about yourself and hearing about the RXO spinoff. So
absolutely. Thank you for the time, Mike.
Appreciate it.
If you want to learn more about the Traffic Club, please visit our website at www.traffic-club.org. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Traffic Jam.